All right, welcome back to another episode of the All American News Podcast. This is episode 128. Joining me, as per usual, is my younger brother, Matt Driscoll.
Hey, it's always a pleasure. This is low-key a patriotic episode. All American Hooper, 4th of July weekend coming up. Very exciting. But always a pleasure to be on. Appreciate you having me.
Absolutely, yeah, we're very excited for the long-ish weekend, and everything there. Definitely a lot to look forward to, especially within the NBA too. We were hoping for a little more. A lot of people complaining the fact that like there hasn't been much free agency, or I should say like needle moving free agency moves since 6:00, which is when free agency started. But I think we all might be a little spoiled based on what happened actually the past couple of days, because a ton has gone down the past few days, and we're definitely here to talk about all of them. So before we do that, as per usual, we're going to list off. We're going to wish happy birthday to the following athletes: to Hall of Famer Mitch Richmond and to NBA champion Trevor Ariza, one of the better 3-and-D guys of his era for sure. Happy birthday to Garrett Anderson, the late Garrett Anderson. Actually, he's great player, not a Hall of Fame player, but I remember him for having 10 RBIs in one game. To Trey Turner, Philly shortstop, and to Blake Tiernan. I believe he's a reliever for the Dodgers. So
Yes.
and then for the NFL, we got a pair of wide receivers. One of them being the new the Patriots' newest receiver, AJ Brown, and then two New Jersey legends, people know him as a Cowboys legend, Miles Austin. Everyone probably, I'm sure people are familiar with the story of him having Saturday detention, and then the football coach saying, "Hey, you should come play for us, and I'll let you out early." And then that's what happens, and everything happened there. But one more additional happy birthday to one more birthday to Coach Joe Mazzulla actually too. I would say this is definitely one of the more solid slates that we've had in a while. Usually, there's at least like one sport that has no one. Like I think for every single one, we've had like a solid athlete. So happy birthday to all those guys. But anyway, these are my notes for today. How about this? So these are my birthday notes, and these are my sports notes. I literally wrote down the names of players without any thoughts for the quiet trade. I wrote down the details of the trade, but that's it. But yeah, so I guess we'll just start off like the rest of the world is. So obviously, unless you've been living under a rock, this includes non-sports athletes too, because I was talking to a fellow employee at Jimmy's Cucina today. Shout out Tom. Doesn't really follow basketball a lot, but I brought it up to him. I said, "Oh, do you follow the NBA at all?" He said, he said, "No, I don't." Like anything happened? I said, "Oh, just LeBron's leaving the Lakers." He's like, "Oh no, I actually did say that. I got the AP notification for that." So, yeah, of course that's gonna shake the news. So yeah, after playing 8 seasons with the Lakers, winning a championship in 2020, brought his team to the conference finals in 2023. They won, and was this year the only other year they won a playoff series? I believe. Yeah, they beat the Rockets this year. I think every other season they failed to get past the first round, if I'm not mistaken. But someone can definitely fact check me on that. But overall, I guess before we move on to talking about like where we think he's going to sign and everything, I guess we'll just talk about like his tenure within the Lakers. I think, my opinion, when people talk about LeBron and failureship in LA, I think people often get confused. Both LeBron haters and LeBron fanboys. I definitely see people like rushing to the defense, saying like, "Oh no, this isn't a failure." Everything. I think there's a huge difference between being a failure and being disappointing. Because Lakers won a championship in 2020. If you win a championship with a team, I would say, unless you finish 15th in the West every single season, I would say it's not like necessarily a failure. But I think it's pretty safe to say this is kind of a disappointment, especially after 2020, and it really felt like the Lakers were going to be like almost like a dynasty. But Yes. So anyway, LeBron gets there in 2019. They missed the playoffs. They trade their entire core. They trade Lonzo. They trade Ingram. They trade Josh Hart. All three of those guys for Anthony Davis. Ends up being the right move. The producer of the show, Tony Sports Fluent, disagrees with me, but his argument is that the Lakers were on their way up every year. But then, but they won a championship though. but they won the championship, and I think one of the more underrated championships that like as far as it goes for the team, because like at the end of the day, outside of like Steph and KD, um, Kobe and Shaq, and even MJ and Pippen, but I think even that's debatable. They have two top five players on the team. Um, I think I think there are definitely teams that were more dominant than them for sure, especially in the playoffs. Not especially in the playoffs, but like just like more so longevity wise. But however, 2021 happens. Like they both of them get banged up because of the shortened season, in my opinion. 2022 again, they blow up their core by trading for Westbrook. Um, and then yeah, they failed to make the playoffs that year. And then 2023. Yeah, and then after that 2023, they have a brutal start to the season. They trade Westbrook, find a way to get to the conference finals, get swept by the Nuggets. I believe in 2024. What did they do in 2024? Did they? Okay, yeah, 2024 they lost in five to the Nuggets in the first rounds, and then yeah, I'm running through it again. But 2025 they yeah, 20 again, like it was kind of a rough start of the season. Then they made the I don't want to say splash. It was like they made like the tsunami trading for Luca, breaking up LeBron and AD. But so if you just think about championship, then yeah, then yes, it's not a failure by any stretch. But 2020, you had like you had like probably the best again, like outside of Steph and KD. But like I'll say it, LeBron and AD, like for single season peak, I think it's debatable that they had the best duo of this of the decade for sure, in my opinion. Um, like but after that, they just didn't do much, and even with the pairing of LeBron and Luca, both of them, we didn't really get to see a ton of it, but for when they were on the courts, they just really didn't complement each other that well, and they both of them were better without each other on the floor. So, um, that's my take. I think, yeah, like I don't think LeBron's tenure with the Lakers was a failure, but I do think it was a disappointment. So I was wondering if you had any thoughts on that, Matt.
I think it's. I get where you are coming from, saying it is a disappointment, just because the championship was in the bubble, which obviously they were the best team. I'm not coming out here to discredit the bubble ring at all, but I'm saying it was different than winning it in LA and having a parade and stuff like that. I feel like if they won a different year, would have been remembered differently. And the other only deep playoff run that they went on with LeBron there, they got swept in the conference finals. They're still pretty far away. But I will say, I think LeBron is one of the only players in sports history where Lakers are a top two historic franchise in the league. And in his tenure, he finished top 10 in points, second in 3 points made, um, top five in assists, top 10 in rebounds. Sorry, not top 10 in rebounds, but top five in assists, top 10 in points, and top two in threes. And he was there for 8 years and he won a championship. And what do you make the playoffs 6 out of 8 years, Chris? We said, or 7 out of 8 years.
So we missed it in 19, he missed it in 22. So yeah, yeah,
So six
yeah,
out of 8 years. I know that's not the goal, is just making
yeah.
the playoffs if you're LeBron James. But I feel like that's, if you look at his resume like that, Finals MVP was. I gotta check about how often he was top 10 or got MVP votes while he was on the Lakers, but I'm sure it was almost every single year. Um, I think he's the only player that this would be considered a disappointment, and I do agree kind of what you're saying about how it kind of was disappointing because he goes to a historic franchise in his prime. And there is some hardware to show for it, but I think it was lacking the number of deep playoff runs.
See, so 11th place, second place, 13th place, 10th place, no votes in 23, no votes in 24. That's surprising. Sixth place in 25, and then no votes this year. So yeah, so a couple, yeah, so one top five finish, and then a couple of top 10 finishes. So, no, that's yeah, you're 100% right. That like it takes a special kind of player for it to be disappointment. Like when you're getting all those accolades, is for sure. So, um. So, which like I don't have like a list of ranking best players per franchise. Maybe that'll be a summer project. Then again, I have a lot going on this summer with simply this content wise. So maybe that'll be another time. But yeah, like if I were to make like a list of like the best Lakers of all time, I feel like most people might not put LeBron top 10. I probably would. If I were to go top of my head, I would go Magic 1, Kobe 2. I guess probably Kareem 3. Maybe even Jerry. I guess I'll go Kareem 3 just because he had all those rings, but Kareem 3, Jerry West 4 probably. And
Shaq.
then I guess I'd go. It's tough because does LeBron's one ring offsets all of Elgin Baylor's accomplishments when he has 0 rings? But even then, I feel like most Laker fans would probably still go Elgin Baylor.
Did you have Shaq yet?
I'd not. No, I didn't let Shaq yet. Actually, no.
Yeah.
So, yeah. He's got to be third or fourth. I mean, I guess Kareem is the toughest one to rank just because he had the obviously he has 5 rings. He has one of those was a finals MVP though. Should have another finals MVP. Although Magic was the one that closed out in 1980. So one or 2 championships has the best player so like on the Lakers. So I guess longevity wise I'll go Kareem. So yeah, in order I guess we'll go Magic, Kobe, Kareem. I guess we'll go Shaq, either Shaq or Jerry West 4 and 5, and then I guess Elgin Baylor probably 6, and then I guess LeBron's probably in like the 7 to 10 range. I'm sure there's other players that I'm missing that have arguments for it. I know people might say Pau Gasol. I think LeBron's a better Laker than him for sure. I know the Pau is the 2 rings, but LeBron was at his peak was definitely better. So even as only in Laker, but 2020, and then even last year 2025, he finished 6th place in MVP voting. So Pau never even hit even close to that kind of a peak, but anyway, so yeah, I guess now that we talked about LeBron's tenure with the Lakers, why don't we actually dive into where do we think he's going to sign? Because I think that this, out of all the times that LeBron has made a decision, this is easily the most unpredictable one. We knew obviously, yeah, both of us were very young at the time. I was going into 5th grade. You were going into 2nd grade, I think, when LeBron left. No, I was going into 6th grade. You were going into 3rd grade. Yeah. So like obviously we didn't know a lot, but like it felt like the consensus was like around the league like was LeBron was going to leave. No one really knew a ton of the time. Obviously, like some thought the Knicks, some thought the Nets, some thought the Clippers, some thought the Bulls even. But then like last minute, I remember he kind of swooped in with saying like, "Hey, we're going to get Chris Bosh too," and then he and D Wade were boys. So then the rest was history. And then 2014 comes around. Again, that was either the Cavs or the Heat, or he was going to go back to the Cavs, and I feel like everyone was rooting for it, but like everyone also knew that he wanted to go back to Cleveland eventually. But yeah, so it's tough. But and then the free agency comes around again in 2018. That was one people debated over and over again. Like I kind of convinced myself that he was going to stay in Cleveland, but then he ends up re-signing with the Lakers. Not re-signing. He ended up signing with the Lakers, which again, that was something that like people knew months before, but it wasn't really official. So now we're coming around in 2026. Now, where the hell is LeBron James signing? I have my thoughts. I have a prediction, but I'm not confident in it at all. There's a few options. There's 2 of them being returning to either Cleveland or Miami. The other one is pairing up with Steph Curry and Golden State's. We saw one wild card today saying that he might reunite with AD in the Wizards. If we go through it after that, I don't know if there's anyone else. Shout out to Ori B from Hoop Social. He said he's rooting for Charlotte just because it would be if LeBron turned the Hornets relevant, it would be a slap in the face to MJ that he made the Hornets relevant quicker than MJ did. But I don't know who. I don't think anyone else is in the picture. But yeah, Matt, why don't you why don't you tell me who I guess who you think? You know what? Actually, we'll do who you think first, and then we can also dive into who we think he should. So, who do you think he's going to sign with?
I'm looking up the money right now. Sorry, I thought that DraftKings would have odds up. They do not. Google AI. Hold on 1 second. Sorry. According to Kalshi, even though we're not sponsored, there's a 47% chance that LeBron James goes to Golden State.
That high, wow.
Cleveland is 2nd at 29, and Miami is 3rd at 17. I know he said money doesn't matter. I believe it. That he will definitely take a lesser deal. He's obviously not looking for the max contract that he could get. I don't think he'll sign like a vet minimum contract. I think he'll still get some money out of it. I do think he'll go to Golden State to team up with Steph Curry. I don't know how that's going to work cap-wise or how that's going to work money-wise, but I feel like they will figure it out. And as Skip Bayless called them, Olden State, even before the LeBron news came out. I could see that happening.
I can see it happening too for sure. I think the odds probably have shrunk since I know the Wizards came out and said they're not interested in trading AD at all. I don't know if AD is interested in demanding his way out after playing. I don't know how many games he played with. Did he play any games with Washington? I don't know if he did. And
No.
yeah, no, 0. Yeah. I know the trade played 5. I don't know if AD played any, but so yeah, after playing 0 games with Washington, I don't know if he has the balls to to straight up demand a trade after the Wizards had to give up assets for him. It would require them um taking on Jimmy Butler's contract for granted it's only 1 year, but he does have a torn ACL and likely won't be back until probably like the All-Star break, maybe if not a little before that. But if AD2 Golden State was a possibility, I would say that the chance of LeBron going there would be much higher. But um I I don't know. It almost feels like too much of a cartoon, to have like a player like two guys that like went at it 5-10 years ago. It was somewhere in between then, but and then LeBron ends up joining them. Granted, everyone in regarding the situation is at a completely different point in their career now. So I'm not sure exactly where LeBron's head is at. I also feel like it's also very movie of him to just go back to Cleveland, go back to where it started, go back there for another season. Even Miami, when people think, well, I think 20 years from now, people are going to think of LeBron. They're going to think Cleveland because that's where he's from and everything. But really, the best of LeBron was absolutely in Miami. I think yeah. People like to say like 2018 LeBron. I think 2018 LeBron is easily the most overrated out of all the LeBrons. But yeah, maybe he will go back to Miami because like that, like that quality of life. It's probably more fun to live down there in Miami. Like might be the most relaxing, probably the most stable organization now that they have Giannis for sure. He and Spo have that relationship. He and Bam played together in the Olympics, so all of that. And then, like I said, Washington maybe he just wants to go and pair up with AD and even mentor a guy like AJ DeVinca. So all that said, if you were to guess, if I were to guess today, I would say Cleveland because LeBron does love Cleveland at the end of the day. This is the best that Cleveland has looked since like in any year since LeBron left Cleveland. I would I don't know too well about the Cavs like the 90s Cavs. Another Mark Price was a great with them. Yeah, I got to really brush up on that. But yeah, like I think LeBron going to the Cavs, taking for like a massive pay cuts. I could definitely see LeBron doing something like that, especially if he cares like more about the quality of life there. Like he's very comfortable in Cleveland. So, and again, like this would be a situation where they were talking about it first things first a couple weeks ago. Does LeBron like want to be like the Swiss Army knife though, on a team? Because if you want to talk about like in a playoff setting, like in like a big game setting, maybe you think LeBron's the best out of all those guys, but for a full season, Donovan Mitchell is better than him right now. Will Evan Mobley take that leap this year? Will he be better than LeBron? I think that's a very high chance. But at the very least, Mobley would be the defensive anchor in the team. So I think, yeah, like regardless of which team LeBron joins, if he joins the Cavs, I think the Cavs turn into East favorites for sure. But if he joins a team like Golden State's, again, like I just don't see them going anywhere. So he's going to prioritize happiness, like they said. But does winning count as part of happiness is the question. Because if he joins Golden State's, how much better are they? They will get better for sure. Like what were they were the ninth or they were the 10th seed this year, one playing game. So maybe they're like, I don't know, like seventh, maybe sixth. I don't know. That might be pushing it though. So this is the toughest one to tell because like none of us are inside LeBron's head.
Yeah, and you said quality of life. I mean, I know he probably has a house in like 9 different states now, but you play in Golden State, you stay in California. I mean, like you said, familiarity with Cleveland and Miami. I just saw a screenshot of the odds on a DraftKings article. Again, not sponsored, not a gambling podcast, but the Golden State Warriors were minus 275 at 2 o'clock this afternoon, and the Cavs were plus 150, and then the third team were the Heat at plus 1,000. So I think those are the top 3 teams that he will be deciding between. Um, yeah, I mean, it's definitely interesting. I don't know if he is out of those three teams, if he joins, you said if he joins the Cavs, you think they're the favorites in the East still?
I think so. Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's not discrediting LeBron. I'm more discrediting the Cavs
Yeah, of course.
than LeBron. But we'll see. I mean, I think that's the team to go to. That would be the biggest chance at winning something again. Is out of those three teams is going to the Cavs.
Hmm. Makes sense. Yeah. So yeah, who knows when LeBron's in most LeBron fashion ever, he's saying that he's in no rush to make a decision. So yeah, I think he's going to drag this out to have the attention all on him for the next couple of weeks. So but yeah, so yeah, you think Warriors, I think Cleveland. So I guess we'll see what happens there. But the second biggest news of the day, which is probably the more consequential news given at points in their career. Kawhi Leonard has been traded from the Los Angeles Clippers to the Toronto Raptors. Back where he was before the Clippers for Brandon Ingram, Grady Dick, 2 first-round picks, first-round pick swap, and 2 second-round picks. This is an awesome move for the Raptors, in my opinion. Raptors were already on the rise with Scotty. Yeah, Scotty Barnes had a career year last season. I was on the fence with putting him 13 All NBA. I announced that I put him 13 All NBA, but then last minute I swapped him out for Chet Holmgren. Yeah, pairing up Scotty Barnes with Kawhi Leonard is awesome. Scotty's a bit. There are different points in their career. Kawhi's the better scorer, but Scotty's probably the better defender and passer for sure. But after that, they have a solid roster for sure. They wanted to get rid of Brandon Ingram's contract. But yeah, the Raptors did go 7 games with the team that made the conference finals. So I think the Knicks are the only team clear of them right now. And I think that there is an argument that the Raptors would be the second best team in the East right now. So yeah, I'll definitely dive deeper into that for sure. But what are your thoughts on the trade?
Um, I think it's a very interesting move. The Raptors definitely moved me a little bit this year going into the season. I do think they're a real center away and a real point guard away from being one of the top teams in the East. You said you think they're a top 2 team in the East. I would kind of push back on that. I think the Knicks are definitely better. I think the Celtics could be better. I think the Pistons could be better. And I think the Cavs right now also could be better.
Mhm.
Sorry, not the Cavs, the Pacers. I mean, I think the Cavs and Raptors are close, but I think the Pacers this year are going to be better. So right now I have them sitting as the 5th best team in the East. Granted, I mean the offseason just started, so they could make a lot of moves, but I don't think you're making it you're making it out of the Eastern Conference with Jakob Poeltl as your starting center.
Fair
Um,
enough.
Emmanuel quickly is a very solid point guard, a very solid player. I don't think he could be a starting point guard on a finals team. I do like the Jamal Sheed aspect of the Raptors. He's a very, very elite defender, but their guard depth does concern me a little bit. If they move on from RJ Barrett to get a very, very good center, a solid starting center, and move on from Jakob Poeltl, I do think that they could have a chance at contending in the East. But right now, their depth does scare me a little bit. But I mean, I do like the trade for them. Kawhi obviously had a great year. The Clippers are just going to be pretty bad for a while. I think this was them officially waving the white flag. They got some value out of Kawhi Leonard on his last year of his deal. But yeah, I think the Raptors are, in my opinion, the 5th best team in the East. I don't know if that's underrating Kawhi and the rest of the Raptors, but right now I have them at 5.
I think it is underrating them just a little bit. I think that Kawhi's it's again, a lot of these things depend on one another. But like, I think that I think Giannis is the best player in the East, and I think that Tatum's probably second, and unless I'm missing someone. But yeah, I think that it probably goes Giannis, Tatum, then Kawhi, then is oh no, Brunson third, and then Kawhi fourth.
Yeah. Okay.
Or Donovan Mitchell, depending on how you value him. But yeah, those are probably like the top 5 guys, or Halliburton, depending on how healthy he's going to be. But yeah, you're right. It's just because yeah, like they do have a bit of even with trading away Brandon Ingram, you brought in Kawhi, who's much better than Ingram, but you still have RJ Barrett, and they have one more wing on the team that I'm forgetting. Quickly Barrett, Kawhi, Scotty, so Scotty's there for it technically. So like it's really like three guys that like are good wings, but like they should try to upgrade in center. So I don't know if they're gonna try to go after someone. Maybe they're gonna try to make a trade, or if they're happy with Pirtle being their starting center. I think they'd be settling a little bit there. Are they maybe going to go after another point guard? I did just see reports from Windhorse who just said the league believes that Sandro, however the hell you say his last name, Mamuk Shlevi, he was the backup center this year.
Mamu,
Is
yeah.
headed to is headed to the Lakers. That's what people believe, and he would basically replace Rui Hachimura.
Oh
Um,
wow, that's a
I
good
wanted
get for
him
them.
to. I wanted him to go to the Celtics, just because like you know me, like I'm a real sucker for stretch fives, and so is the entire league. I feel like at this point, but you know, Brook Lopez, Al Horford, even Miles Turner, not so much because he's pretty bad at defense, but like guys like that, I just really value, and I think that's I kind of wish he didn't go to the Lakers because I really don't think the Lakers are gonna be that good. Even with Luca and Austin. But to stay in the Raptors, I guess it just all depends. Teams don't win with great duos anymore. They win with great teams. So yeah, you might have convinced me that they're not top two, but probably this all depends. Like it all depends on what the Celtics are going to do. If they run it back with Tatum and Brown, which is looking more likely in my opinion. But maybe that'll be our next segment. But um, outside of that, again, this is one of the more unpredictable years because will Hadley come back to who he was? Are the Cavs gonna do anything? Because I believe they were over the second apron for this year. Are they gonna try to trade Jared Allen? Will LeBron join the Cavs? Who knows? So, but I do think the Raptors made a good decision. But yeah, like when you have a talented guy like Scotty Barnes, you should show him that you're committed to winning. So who knows what's gonna happen? That's what I got. I've gotten like 5 updates on my phone. It's all been from the MLB app. Bench is clear at Fenway. I don't care. But anyway, yeah. So
I will say I don't think the Clippers got totally fleeced either. I think their
no,
return
I don't think
is
so either.
pretty fine. Um, how do you know how long Brandon Ingram's contract is? Because I know that contract is pretty bad. Obviously they're just
3 years.
not
I think they signed him for like 5 years, 180 when they traded for him, something like that. I could be totally making that up, but I feel like that's no, it wasn't that much.
like they're
Um,
not
but,
they're
but,
obviously
but
not trying to win with this core that the Clippers have right now. They're trying to get younger. Grady Dick has some upside. He was a lottery pick a couple years ago. 2 first-round picks and a pick swap. It doesn't seem like a lot, but those picks could turn into something in a couple of
sure,
years.
yeah.
So
So Ingram is owed 40 million this year, and then he has the player option next year at 41.9. So I guess it all depends on how he plays this year with LA. If he ends up if he has like a breakout year, then maybe he'll try to opt out for more money. But if he disappoints this year, maybe he'll opt into it and then try to get like a better contract the year after that. But yeah, what the hell the Clippers gonna do though? Because they traded Harden for Darius Garland in the second round pick. So are they gonna Are they gonna try to trade Darius Garland too? And do they have one more guy? I feel like that's part of their center. Yeah, I mean, they just traded Zubac too. And they got Keaton Wagner for that. So that was so like that'll be a good booster point for sure. Yeah, I guess maybe you want to keep Garland around for like a veteran's sake, but I would definitely start maybe just put it out there that he's available, and maybe you can get something back from there, or his trade value isn't necessarily at its highest now. He's at a pretty brutal beginning with Cleveland. So maybe
yeah, the
yes. So maybe
Clippers
they try to trade him at the deadline.
Clippers depth chart does not does not look very good, especially their front court. Their starting front court right now is Derrick Jones Jr. and Brook Lopez with John Collins and Bennett Mathurin coming off the bench. And Mathurin's not really a 4; he's more of a 2 or a 3.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I think they just got to totally rebuild for the future. I know Garland's pretty like on the younger side, but if you get some value out of him, some picks, and maybe another
mhm,
young guy, I would totally do that.
I definitely would too. Um, there's another team out there that could use a point guard, or yeah, the Celtics, but which which I know like I think one of you guys poo pooed on that trade the other day, but I'm not saying he has to be the main piece in a Jalen trade, but I will say he definitely would be an upgrade over whoever starting point guard is right now.
If
But
he's the main piece in a Jalen trade, I am. Never mind, I can't say that online. Will be very disappointed with Brad Stevens and the front office.
yeah. And the Clippers already gave away 2 first-round picks, so it's not like they can give us 6 first-round picks or anything. But
Yeah.
It's interesting though because I mean, yeah, I guess the Clippers wanted to hold on to their number 5 pick before trading Kawhi, because like people would have used that as leverage, but yeah. So we talked a lot about Jalen last week, and I definitely don't want to turn this into a precedent where we talk about we talk about Jalen Brown and the Celtics every single week if something comes up. I'm hoping that like after like a week of this, if Jalen isn't traded, that everyone's just going to accept that he's staying with the Celtics. I don't know if that's me coping or not, but last night, however, Jalen I didn't actually go look at the comment section, but someone posted on like a Celtics Discord that Jalen Brown did post post something. It was like going after Stephen A. And then in the comment section, someone commented something along the lines of, "I hate the Celtics, but I hope that Jalen Brown gets traded to like a city that actually appreciates him." And then he liked that. So whether you consider that a trade request, I'll leave that up to you. I personally think that's as close to a trade request as it possibly could be. But is something like that mendable? Is the question. If Jalen went full on like on his Twitch stream and said, fuck the city of Boston, the front office has been treating me like this. I just won Finals MVP, Eastern Conference Finals MVP. My running mate tears his Achilles, isn't available for the entire season, and then I lead the team to 56 wins. That would be pretty. That would be pretty hard to like make any type of amends there. But is him making a couple of passive aggressive comments over the offseason and even just like liking a pretty blatant message like that is something like that mendable? We already shared our opinion on like, do we want the Celtics to trade Jalen Brown outside of these? Do any of these moves in the past week, does that change your opinion at all on what the Celtics should do, Jalen?
I think the move that made me change my mind on Jalen was the Giannis trade to the Heat. I think he was the only guy that I would trade Jalen for.
Yeah.
That seems to be like a pretty like not popular opinion on Twitter. And like you said, Chris, it all comes down to the fact if he wants to play for Boston or not for the rest of his contract, or at least next year. I don't think there's a trade available right now where you trade Jalen and you get better, or you end up winning the trade. I mean, he just had one of his best years of his career. Definitely the best individual stats wise of his career, and it seems like his value is kind of low because of his on off metrics, and the whole streamer thing. Definitely is a turnoff to other front offices. But like I said, I don't think you get better if you trade Jalen Brown, and I know he has a big contract, and the whole second apron is very, very scary. They have to stay under the second apron again this year. But I mean, you have one of, if not the best duo of this generation of this the 2020s, and I think it would be stupid if you split them up going into their 28 and 29th season, or what is it, 29-30 season. I think that would be very, very stupid. And wings are not. Two-way wings are not easy to come by. I mean, you just see the Knicks won obviously because of being led by Jalen Brunson, but the reason you were able to play Jalen Brunson, who's a who's a below average defender, is because you had elite wing defenders that took on the challenge of guarding the best player, and they were able to hide Brunson in coverages because of these guys. So elite wings are very hard to come by. I think the Celtics it would be a mistake if they traded Brown.
I totally agree. And like I don't necessarily think this is like a situation. At least I'm hoping it's not a situation like it was with Kyrie and with Cleveland, not with Boston. Where he requested the trade after free agency. I think it was like mid-June. Mid-July that he made the request, and then they ended up trading him to the Celtics. I think it was August 22nd. I think it was. Only reason I know that is because it was 2 days before I moved into college. And I brought the IT4 poster. But what was I going to say? this is this is just tough. Like, and yeah, Bill Simmons tweeted out today, and he's usually pretty on the money with these things. I know that people like to mess around with some of his takes and everything, but like regarding like he's usually like pretty accurate with like his Celtics take and like things like that are going inside, and he believes that these things can be mended with like a sit down dinner between Chisholm, Brad, Missoula, Brown. He didn't mention Tatum in the tweet, but like if Tatum wants to show up to that dinner, then yes he can be, and maybe even bring Deuce with him because like everyone loves that relationship between Brown and Deuce. But so yeah, like I don't think that Brad's just going to trade Jalen just to trade him. Like I don't think his I don't think his hands are as tied as people are making out to be. Like maybe is Jalen a little upset now? Sure, but you have what is it? July. It's going to be July 1st tomorrow, so you have like 3 months until training camp, and then like another like 2-3 weeks until the regular season starts. Maybe 3-4 weeks after that until the regular season starts. Wait it out. I said before, if they're not going to trade for Giannis, just trade him right away to get rid of the drama. But like if teams aren't going to be serious, let's be honest, if these teams aren't serious about some of these trade returns, like as much as you want to say like, oh no, that's his value. No, that's not his value. Like just because teams are not willing to pay as much, that doesn't mean that's his value. Like give it a minute. Hopefully this boils over. And like Jalen's like, okay, you know what's screw it. Why don't I play one more year and then hopefully it's not as bad. But this like, one more thing I wanted to bring up with like I brought up Kyrie, but like I'm also going to bring up Kevin Durant when he demanded the trade in the 2022 offseason, and Jalen Brown was in those trade talks. But then in August, the Nets came out with a statement saying like we agreed like Kevin Durant's not being traded just for them to trade him again, not again, just for them to trade him in at the deadline. So but like the Nets were doing good until then. It wasn't because like the issues with Durant. It was mostly with the issues with Kyrie, in my opinion, and Harden. No, Harden is gone. But like yeah, it was mostly the issues with Kyrie, in my opinion. So I'm hoping that like maybe this can be a situation where like where they can mend it. I think they're able to mend it, but even if they're not, don't trade Jalen Brown for nothing. Like you don't get rid of a player of that caliber. I don't care how bad his contract. How bad you think his contract is. We're not going to trade a top 15 player at worst for draft picks. And RJ Barrett, like I saw one of them saying yesterday, like, oh yeah, like he'll be in the 13th year, like centered around RJ Barrett. No, screw that. No, we're not going to trade Jalen Brown for nothing. We're gonna hold back. But also, I don't want to like it's go you one more thing, Matt. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's just like you said, like the players that are leading these packages. It's like the best player I've seen so far is Jalen Duren wants to play for Boston. Like I think that would be a disaster if the Celtics traded Brown for
Yeah.
Duren. Or
Mhm.
I see like Jamal Murray. Like Jamal Murray, a great player, but Jalen Brown's a better player than Jamal Murray. Like I don't think the Nuggets are dying to tie draft capital and Jamal Murray and another player for Jalen Brown. And
Yeah.
I don't think the Celtics are dying to do that either. Like I totally agree that I just don't think the value is there for Jalen Brown. Like a trade, a player of his caliber, top 15, top. People say top 15, top 10 player in the league. He should be going for a huge haul, and it's clearly it's not there. So I think the Celtics should hold on and run back the duo, a very successful duo, one of the most successful duos of this generation, of Brown and Tatum.
Couldn't agree more. Speaking of stars being traded, let's talk about a former star being traded, or could he be another star one day? Who knows? But the Grizzlies traded Ja Morant to the Portland Trailblazers yesterday for Jeremy Grant and Chris Murray. I knew that Ja Morant's trade value was down the toilets. I did not think it was this bad because someone posted the graphic yesterday of Ja Morant in the playoffs, literally scoring like 38 points, 7 assists. Like it was like 38, 7 and 7. It was like some absurd stat line. And he made second team All NBA. And the Grizzlies were the best they'd been since Conley and Gasol were in their prime. And 2023 comes around, he gets suspended for the first 25 games, plays for 9 games, plays really, really well in those 9 games, but then gets hurt, and then 3 straight seasons just cannot stay on the courts, and just some of his and like I don't think his off the court issues have been as bad as they were earlier in his career, but his on the court issues have been horrible, and his inability to stay on the court too. So, would you have made this trade if you were the Grizzlies, or would you have waited out one more year? I'm not sure what I would have done.
I would have totally done this trade if I were the Grizzlies. I think, they've been dying to get off a Jaws contract, dying to get him out of the
Mhm.
locker room. They're clearly building for the future. With Boozer, with Edie, they got Cam Spencer on the bench. The guy they drafted, Cedric Coward, last year is pretty. He's a solid. He looks like a solid
Yeah,
piece. And like I said, I mean, they're in tough conference. They're not trying to win the title within the next 2 years. Not that John Morant would do that, but I think they were literally just waiting for somebody to be like, yeah, we'll take them. I will say this is a very impressive move by the Blazers as well. I personally wouldn't have done it because I think I wouldn't want him on my team. But the Blazers roster when Joe Cronin took over in 2021, I'm trying to see the starting lineup here. Was Dame, CJ, Norman Powell, Josh Hart, Robert Covington, and obviously Hart left and Dame was there for a while, but CJ got traded. Their roster right now, it totally flipped over in the past 5 years, and they have a pretty solid roster now. Joe Cronin pulled off the Denny trade, which was a great end up being a great trade. I mean they have a solid roster now. Sorry, my iPad is frozen, but they just re-signed Rob Williams. They got Drew Holiday. They have Denny. A lot of young guys. Tumani Kamara, who apparently Blazers Twitter acts like is Michael Jordan and Jalen Brown trade talks. But
Klingon. Yeah,
say it again.
Klingon. I don't know if you said him
Yeah,
already.
Donovan Clingan.
Yeah.
Like they have like a lot of solid guys. I mean, I know I've been a Blazer stan for the past couple of years in this pod, but yeah, Kamara, Clingan, Denny Avia, Robert Williams. Is Grant still there? Or did he?
No, he was in the trade.
He was in the trade. Okay,
Yeah.
Grant's not there anymore. Drew Holiday, Shaden Sharp, Caleb Love is solid. I mean, they still have Scoot and they have Dame. I mean, they're not going to be contending or anything like that this year, but the total turnaround from where they were a couple years ago compared to now is impressive.
I'm just interested in the whole they believe that Dame Drew Dame Drew, Ja, Scoots, and Sharp can all coexist. I find that very hard to believe. I think that at least one of those guys has to be gone. It's not gonna be Dame, it's not gonna be Ja, obviously. So can they get rid of Drew's contract? I'm thinking not. I was fully convinced, like when the trade happened, oh crap, this is going to be the start because they're overloading a guard now. This is going to be the start of trading Drew and a couple other pieces for Jalen, and Shams kind of put that to bed right away. And, and yeah, we're not going to again, like I said, I'm not going to talk about Jalen Brown too much, but I already did it. But yeah, for the Blazers, like I don't know, maybe they're going to wait it out to see if they can trade for someone else, but I don't know. Yeah, the Blazers can be solid. They were the 7th seed this past year. I don't know how much better they can be than that. Maybe if Dame comes back healthy, which I know people poo poo on Dame, but like at the end of the day, like he wasn't also was he an All-Star starter in 25 or was that the year before? I think it wasn't. I think he was an All-Star starter in 25, if I'm not mistaken. But before his injury, I still think he was a great player. But it's just a matter of who will he be when he comes back. But yeah, I guess we'll just have to see what the roster construction is going to look like, and also what the rest of the West looks like, because obviously the Lakers with a 5 seed, and then they're about to lose LeBron. So, but then also you're getting a fully healthy season of Luka. So who knows what the team's going to look like then. Um, we still got a good amount of time left. We can but I guess the next trade that not trade, like the next player that I want to talk about is Jalen Duren. Actually, it came out yesterday that negotiations between Duren's camp and the Pistons really died out, and really and now he's going to go talk to other teams, but or more specifically talk with the Kings. But however, it did come out to say that the Pistons are going to match any type of offer that occurs for the Duren. So I'm wondering if that means that like they've heard that like it's come out that no other team is giving him that much money. So I'm wondering if that's going to cause anything. But I saw a tweet today, and I low key agree with it. It's like, I'm always on the side of the players going for the money. Like they should advocate for themselves because no one else is going to. And you shouldn't. And I think that if like a player takes like a hometown discount and then they end up getting shipped out for because they're tradable contracts. You're like, okay, what the hell, man? Like, why did I take that contract for then? But in Duran's case, what are you doing, man? Like, I understand, like everyone wants their worth, but are you really gonna? You're 22 years old. Are you really going to go to the Sacramento Kings for a little more money, and you can't be traded away because you're making that much more money? Um, you're 22 years old. Take a couple million less to play with Cade Cunningham and play for JB Bickerstaff, a great coach. Don't go to the Kings. Like again, like the Pistons are going to match the Steelers, so it's not going to be a problem. But I think whoever's selling him to, again, like advocate for as much money as you can, do that. But I don't think you should go too far in the deep end because I really think it would be career suicide to go to the Kings, in my opinion. Like regardless of how much more money you'd be making.
Yeah, I mean that just is the question. Like, what do you value more? Do you value like, oh, there's the ugly business side of the NBA. It's like, do you value like, oh, this company that employs me, which would be the Pistons, like they would trade me for a more valuable player in a second and not lose sleep over it. So I'm going to go out and make as much money as I can. Or do you value winning? Like, do you actually care about the sport? Granted, they said they would match it, so I don't think he has any intention of going to the Kings. Um, but I mean, it really is like, what do you value more, money
Yeah.
or
Mhm.
success, accolades wise, victory wise? But I want to say like the Kings, they took a cuff, like maybe they could turn around, but they have to show it first. I do agree, Chris, that it could be career suicide to go to Sacramento.
I saw one thing. I don't know if this was just like a BS thing, but like I said, like maybe a potential sign and trade between Duran and Sabonis. I don't like Sabonis' fit on the Pistons at all. I think that they're like a tough grit and grind team. Like yeah, like he would be like a good like secondary offensive piece to. He's definitely better on offense than Duran, in my opinion. Like a good secondary offensive piece to Cade. But defensively, significant downgrade though. Um, so yeah, you're definitely right though. Like if someone values money a little more, that's fine. But the way I see it is that he's 22 years old and has plenty of time to make money. But also, someone could push back and then say like, yes, he has plenty of time to make money, but injuries could come your way, so make the money when you can. So, um, all good arguments either way. But like I'm telling you from my lens, don't go to the Kings. Like if you unless you're Russell Westbrook and that's your last possible chance. That's like I would never sign with the Sacramento Kings. Um, the only other player I've written down is Walker Kessler. I don't really think there's much to say for him. The only thing I saw was that like there's like a market for him that's like over like in between like 27 and 32 million. That is a whole lot for a guy that hasn't played over 70 games, or maybe it might be even less than that, but like 70 games since his rookie season. And again, great player, played 5 games last year, played like I got to pull it up right now, but doesn't play a ton and great defensive player, not a good offensive player. So hang on, yeah, I got it right here. Yeah, played 5 last year, played 58 the year before, played 64 the year before that. And in that season, the season that he played 64 games, he played 23 he played 23.3 minutes per game, and then 25 he played 30 minutes per game for 58 games, and then last year I only played 5 games. Um in those 5 games, he did average his career high in 14.4 points per game, with 10 rebounds. So yeah, he's a better rebounder than I thought, but I don't know how much money I'm giving Walker Kessler if I'm like a franchise that wants to win. Like, I brought up Duran. I think yeah, like I think the Lakers are gonna probably like I think the Lakers might be the front runner to land on Kessler because DeAndre Ayton just opted out, and they have the extra money for Marcus Smart now as well. Um, I'm not saying that he doesn't have potential to like make that contract worthwhile, but I think it's well more than a risk to offer a guy like that so much money. Like, but then we talked about the market for backup center, say, and he's a starting center, so maybe he even thinks that, not even he, but like maybe like the market for him is much bigger than people than I think.
Yeah, the other recurring guest on the pod, John Driscoll, said today that the backup center market is almost as inflated as the housing market in America today. No, it is not almost as inflated as the housing market in America, but it is very inflated. But yeah, Walker Kessler is a very, very solid player. I mean, like you said, Chris, his injury concerns. It was shoulder surgery, I believe, last year. That as soon as he got injured, it came out that like, yeah, he's not coming back this year probably. Like it seemed to be a pretty serious injury.
Right. Yeah.
Um, so I mean, I think 30 million is a lot, but maybe it's just the market right now. But that I do agree that I probably wouldn't offer him that much money. Um, More free agency news, Chris. Keon Ellis has signed a 2-year deal with the Brooklyn Nets. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I did see that, but like that's I have to like I don't how did he play for the Cavs last year? Because I really don't remember how he played for the Cavs. Because like I know he was on the Kings. He was like almost like he was like the Kings blue chip that like everyone was expecting to be very good because the Kings had like a solid roster with Fox and Sabonis and what's his name, whoever their Keegan Murray, and then they thought that Ellis was going to be like that like blue chip that was going to make them from okay to good to very good. But then they traded him to the Cavs, and I feel like the Cavs really didn't utilize him that much. So, yeah,
Yeah,
this was like
he only played 7 minutes a game in the playoffs this year.
that's that's
Um,
interesting. Yeah, I for
an
sure didn't know
average
that.
1.6 points. When he was in the regular season, he averaged eight points a game and um shot 36% from three. I like the signing for the Nets. I think the Nets are going to be pretty solid this year. That's my take. I think they're going to be
I like
fun.
that. I like that take.
Right, they might make the playoffs, Chris.
Okay, so it was the Blazers 2 years ago. It was the Wizards last year.
I was a year
So
behind on the Wiz. I was a year ahead on the Wizards, and there are a lot of injuries, a lot
yeah,
of trades. I was a year ahead. They're going to be good this year.
maybe yeah. That it all depends on AD, but and Trey for that matter. But Trey will be fine actually. But yeah, I guess for the last few minutes of the show, we can just break down. Yeah, I'm just going to scroll on Twitter now and just look up some of the moves that were already made. But since when we go since yesterday, the yeah since the Jaw trade, we already kind of talked about that one. But any other trades go down recently that you know what, no we don't need to. We don't need to talk about the Miles Bridges trade, but did we talk about the LaMelo trade on
I
any?
don't think so.
No, we did. No, we didn't. Right. This seems to be the most. This seems to be the most like 50-50 trade I've ever heard about. Like as far as it goes for consensus, like the analytic nerds love it. They talk about how sorry, both the analytic nerds and that boy nice guys, the ones that like solely focus on like the on the court play. They're like, oh, this is awesome for the Wolves. They have a great they have a great playmaker next to Ants. They're gonna play great off each other, everything like that. All the boomer coaches out there, like the Ryan Russillo types, and even like I haven't talked to our dad about this, but I can imagine that our dad, along with a million other dads out there, probably hate this trade for the Wolves because they're like, you can't have two hotheads in the locker room between LaMelo and Anthony Edwards. What are you doing? So, um, if you were to ask me, I would say the Hornets made the right decision by trading LaMelo because his trade value was at its highest, but you didn't trade him at high. Like if you're gonna sell high on him, you didn't sell him for high enough because I think that he's worth well more than just one first round pick and a bunch of pick swaps which won't go their way. So I don't know what your thoughts were on that trade.
I think it was the right move to move on from LaMelo at this point. You're building for the future in Charlotte. You know, you had your best year since the Kemba Walker days. And LaMelo, he has a ton of injury concerns, and this was the second most games he's played in his career. Was this year. Um, I mean, the Wolves end up moving on from Naz Reid, which was probably tough. I mean, he was a good
Talk about
locker room guy,
yeah,
great bench piece, one of the best pieces in the league. Like you said, Chris, you only get one unprotected first round pick, which is in 2033. Which I mean, let's say it doesn't work out with Ant and he ends up requesting a trade, and then you're stuck with LaMelo Ball, or I mean, I don't even know who else. If Ant moves on, that pick could be
Rudy
very,
Gobert.
very valuable. Rudy Gobert, that's right. Um, but when the move first came out, I said I really, really liked it for the Hornets because they got Naz Reid, they got Josh Green. Oh, sorry, not Josh Green. Josh Green went to the Wolves. You got Naz Reid and a bunch of picks, but when it came out later, it was 3 pick swaps and it's 3 second round picks. Um, I think this move was just for the Hornets to get off of LaMelo Ball and officially say these are who we're building for in the future. We are building around Brandon Miller and Con Knippel and Big Cock and Moses Diabate or Diabate, however you pronounce his last name. Um, and I think it is a solid move for the Wolves as well. Like you said, Chris, very 50-50. Every time I feel like we talk about the Timberwolves here, I mentioned that they need a true point guard. Like Mike Conley was great
Right. Yeah.
years ago, and he was a very solid locker room guy, very solid point guard for the Wolves in the last couple runs, but he was just getting a little too old and wasn't moving the needle enough. Um, even though I think if they made this move last year, which I don't, it probably wouldn't have worked out contract wise, but if they had still had Julius Randle uh and Lamelo, I would have liked it way better. Um, but I think the Wolves will be another solid. They will be another. They'll have another solid year and could possibly go deep in the playoffs if Lamelo can stay healthy. They need a true point guard. They got one. I wonder how he will play as a second option. He hasn't really played as a second option his entire NBA career. So I think there will be some growing pains, some adjustments. But I feel like Ant and Lamelo will end up being okay together. I think they will
They'll be
like each
fine. Yeah.
other. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think they're
Yeah.
going to end up liking each
Yeah.
other. I feel like their personalities are uh, was it collaborative? Like they could
Mhm.
work together, even though they are hotheads. I don't think they're. I do think they care about the
Yeah.
sport. So,
Both of them do. Yeah.
um, I like it for both sides. I know that's kind of a stupid take, but I think it was the right move for the Hornets to get off of the Lamelo contract when his value was the highest it's been in a couple of years.
I agree. I guess just the biggest thing is, can any team in the West beat either the Pistons? Oh no, sorry, the Thunder or the Spurs. And and like, yeah, like I know that's like a pretty brutal way to look at it, but like I do think that the Timberwolves are debatably, yeah, the third best team in the West. I actually do think that the third best team in the West, besides maybe the Nuggets, who they just beat. Um, but yeah, so we can kind of go speed run after this. The Thunder continue to be, or more specifically, Sam Presti continues to be like a wizard with however he works with anything. Got off Aaron Wiggins' contract, got off Isaiah Joe's contract, was able to negotiate Isaiah Hartenstein to take like kind of like a pay cuts, and Lou Dort they picked up Lou Dort's team option. Are they going to trade him at some points? I don't know, but either way, their cap situation is much better than what it was at the end of the season. So fuck you, Thunder. But for that, anything else either about the Thunder or anything or something else?
I would say the Wolves are the third best team in the West still, even
Yeah.
though they got rid of Julius Randle.
Hmm.
Unless I'm
I agree.
forgetting somebody, but their starting five is one of the best in the league. Lamelo Ball, Anthony Edwards, Ayo Dosunmu, Jaden McDaniels, and Rudy Gobert. Their depth does scare me still.
I agree. Yeah,
I mean, they drafted Isaiah Evans out of Duke in the second round. Maybe he could be good. He killed St. John's in the tournament that won
that's right. Yeah,
in the Sweet 16. There a lot of people are high on Terrence Shannon Jr. He played well in the playoffs with when Ant was injured. Um, he takes a leap. Let's see who else. Kyle Anderson. Like yeah, they need more depth to compete with those teams, the Spurs and the Thunder in the postseason. But I do like their roster so far. I like their top seven guys.
yeah, I agree. What are the other big, any other deals that I'm going to be so pissed off in when the Celtics are going to inevitably be a top two or three seed team in the East, because that's what they inevitably. We have Jason Tatum. We're going to be a top three seed in the East. Like, I'm very confident in that. But either the first or the second round, we're going to lose at least one game to the Miami Heat, because Tim Hardaway Jr. is going to go 8 for 12 from three and drop 25 and 8 on us. I can see it coming from a mile away. They're not going to lose because of Giannis. Not going to lose because of LeBron when he comes back. It's going to be because of Tim Hardaway Jr. And we all know that. So I'm Celtic fans, if you're watching this, except now, yeah. So you're not going to be as hurt when it does happen. But yeah, he's been the biggest free agency signing so far, which is crazy. But I should say guys that have changed teams. I should say, which I didn't realize how much of Iron Man Tim Hardaway was.
Yeah.
I had it up earlier. Let me check. But yeah, he played. Yeah, he was on the Nuggets last year. He was really good for them. Um, Yeah, so the past 4 seasons he's played. You know what? I'll go since 2020 because he's only had like one unhealthy season since then. So 71 games, 70 games. He played 42 in 2022, 71, 79, 77, 80. And in those seasons, he averaged between 28 minutes per game and only 30 minutes per game. So like 20 to 30 minutes per game. That's if you're gonna play that many games and average over 20 and play more than half the game, that's and just be like and play your role. That's the type of player that I want on my team. And it's a very Miami Heat type of player, just a guy that's gonna just that's gonna just like play a ton of minutes. I don't know how good he is on defense, but um any other players that opened your eyes?
I think we covered most of them. The
Let's
big tall white guy that the Thunder had, the 7-footer, he signed with the Blazers. I saw
saw
today.
that. Yeah.
I don't know enough about him. I know he had a
Me
couple of
neither.
highlights, but
Yeah. Rob Williams back to the Blazers, hoping he was going to go to the Celtics. Same thing with Al Horford. The green teamers. This, but by green teamers we mean Celtic homers. Which I'm talking Celtic homers more than us. They were hoping that the Celtics were going to get Porzingis, Horford, and or Williams. I think they would have been fine if they signed all three, and all of them ended up staying with their teams. I was a little surprised that Horford stayed with the Warriors. I thought that he was gonna. I thought that he was gonna. I guess he was comfortable there, unfortunately. But yeah, I still love you, Al. Don't worry. He won a championship for us, and he did a lot more.
yeah.
I think a lot of the other ones just re-signed with their teams. Yeah, Kevin Huerter stayed with the Pistons. Same thing, Yusuf Nurkic, Julian Champagny. Not many else. I guess Keith Smith tweeted out a list today of like the best ones available outside of LeBron. There's very limited amounts. Yeah, Anthony Simons is one of them. Kelly Oubre. The hell's his list? Pulling it up right now. Great podcasting right here, but okay, here we go. So point guard. So James Harden likely staying with the Cavs. Colin Sexton, we don't know yet. Marcus Smart probably going to the Rockets. Russell Westbrook, Bones Highlands. I think Bones Highland is re-signing with the Wolves, if I'm mistaken. I think I saw that. Norm Powell, I haven't seen that one yet, so maybe he actually might be the best one. Matherin's a restricted free agent. Anthony Simons, who I mentioned. Hardaway Jr. is going to the Heats. Quentin Grimes. I don't know. I'd imagine he stayed with Philly, unless another team's going to offer more money, which I have no idea. Go back to the time when he hacked the living shit out of Jaylen Brown in the playoffs and was known to be great defense. Like to this day, I'm just like, Tari Eason, restricted free agent. Kelly Oubre, Chris Middleton, probably going to the Heat. And two guys who I've never seen before, S. Fontecchio and S. Jones. I'm assuming that's not Sam Jones, but
It's
but
Fontecchio was on the Pistons.
oh, was
I
he?
don't know if
Okay.
he still is. But
And then power forwards, LeBron, Peyton Watson, who's probably just going to resign with the Nuggets for a bigger deal. Draymond, John Collins, Tobias Harris. Oh, Tobias. Is he just going to go back to the Pistons? I hope he does, because yeah, he seemed to be like his role there. And then centers, this is the biggest markets: Jalen Duren, Walker Kessler, Mitch Robinson, Nikola Vucevic, Rob Williams. Surprised that Mitch Robinson has been signed yet. I thought he'd be like one of the first guys off the board, but I don't know. Maybe he's looking to get more money elsewhere. But yeah, I don't know.
I
Maybe
think he
just
stays
resigns
with the
with
Knicks.
You think he stays with the Knicks? Really?
I think he takes a cut and stays with the Knicks. Yeah.
He'd have to take a pretty big cut though. Really? Oh, I don't know if I agree with that, but I don't even know what other team needs a center. I guess the Lakers do, but if they get all these other guys, I don't know. But I guess we'll see. Yeah, I was low key expecting a boring start just because of everything that's already happened, but this is even more boring than I thought. Again, we've probably been a little spoiled with how it's been going, because obviously LeBron and Kawhi literally just are switching teams today. So like again, we're a little spoiled, but might be getting a little more. I think we're gonna get a little more attention after that. But yeah, yeah, we did this tonight because I got work on Thursday nights, but there's a good chance we'll be doing Tuesdays on the summer. I don't know exactly what we're doing yet. We have a lot going on this summer, both content wise and family trip wise. So we're definitely going to take at least a 2 week break off that, but But yeah, we'll definitely be back at some point next week. I have no idea which day, but we'll be back some points. Maybe we'll be doing emergency pods for when either a big trade happens or when LeBron signs with the team. I guess we'll just have to see. But yeah. So Matt, thanks for coming on. As per usual, this has been another episode of the All American Hoops podcast. Be sure to follow me on social media at All American Hooper on TikTok and Instagram, at American Hooper on Twitter. Be sure to check me out next Wednesday nights. Not this Wednesday night, next Wednesday nights. Fluent versus Chill versus Everyone. That'll be the last one of the season. We're gonna take the summer off, and I'll be writing more articles this summer at sportsfluent.com. This has been another episode of the All American Hoops podcast. Until next time, keep grinding and stay hooping. Have a great night, everyone.